but there are no weak teams in this lobby. Every single player here is an absolute beast. So even if you find a player on the edge of zone, you got to make sure you execute everything to perfection.
Okay, big rotations going on, but look at this. Compared to what we were seeing in All-Stars, honestly, you would have 4 teams eliminated by now or something like that. Everyone's playing it very patiently, very cautiously. They know what's on the line for
there
every
are no weak
single
teams
game.
in this lobby. Every single player here is an absolute beast. So even if you find a player on the edge of zone, you got to make sure you execute everything to perfection.
Okay, big rotations going on, but look come into play. Compared to what we were seeing in All-Stars, honestly, you would have 4 teams
starting off
strong or something like that. Everyone's playing it very patiently, very cautiously. They know what's on the line for
there are no
every
weak
single
teams
game.
in this lobby. Every single player here is an absolute beast. So even if you find a player on the edge of zone, you've got to make sure you execute everything to perfection. Gladiators, they talked about earlier, they just have the advantage of playing on the All-Star stage. Starting off strong or something like that. Talked a little bit earlier how his team purchased these devices a little earlier on. He got the training for it. Yeah, and he had that All-Star stage to get used to it as well. So this team is going to have a major advantage to the teams that are coming in here just today.
Yeah, they're coming into the circle, though, quite late. So let's see if they can make that work. Already, a lot of these compounds been taken up. A lot of good ridges in the middle been taken up. My question marks revolve around DRS. They're rotating.
You most likely throw that jump nade. Ooh, gets beat up pretty bad, but he hits the nade onto Dami. That leaves 1 player up for Twisted Minds. We should see a full send here from Vampire.
Difficult to deal with this as another nice nade was going their way. Didn't quite connect with as much as I thought it would, though. A bit of a push-up. 2 trying to push on this. Crypto not with too much opportunity here to get this going. He's sticking the res. This is very bold. He's now going to have to remove, considering Ravenclaw was looking for the off angle.
DBS is out. Here we go, Ravenclaw. He's got the advantage. Oh, and Nade does it, though. And that is Twisted Minds out early. And our All-Star stage champion starting
down towards up here. Hot Jukes as now Box has found Carrillo. He's going to go down. Senna is in the smoke with a DBS prone. He could be the snake in the grass they need.
Here he comes. Pops out. Gets 1 DBS shot. Gets another. Looking for the double play. The nade comes out, but he gets knocked in the process. So Box Gaming down 2 players. But Alpha 7 is hurt big time. I believe it's only 1 up. Yeah, that's going to be Revo, the last 1 player up for him.
Trying to make something happen here, but it's very, very difficult. Even if they do, Box has already done a significant amount of damage here to be able to make this go.
I think if you're Revo, you got to push here. Like, you just got to send it at this point.
So
I mean,
don't get the reses, etc.
Yeah, because your teammates are already going to be down and out, and the chances of you even surviving for placement points here in the Sandhawk is like practically 0.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Again, with the amount of people that are still alive here during all of this. Alpha 7 is gone, though. That's them down in 13th place. Here comes Vampire, pushing on Rejects. This is actually such a great opportunity for them because this team was already wounded. Jula is going to go down. Sarah's charging a nade. Unless they group up massively, this isn't getting how much done. It's not bad. Where's it gone?
Does he hit it? He does! And Tony K's down to 1 HP. Sara, oh my gosh, catching another player. He catches Matic off guard. Another nade here. Good, he did. Oh, but his back gets shot. And he is out of there.
A lot of words about Rosemary. Pundits looking at him as a great player here to be able to knock it out of the park. Tony K, though, in the distance. There was a molly on this rock, not actually catching him off. And then Smoke even blocking a little bit of vision, but 3 players here.
Rosemary completely out of utility, so he is stuck in a position. But here comes the rest of his team. Potato coming up close. You see he's got that nade locked in hand. Vampire on the back ropes. Going to have to hit some major shots, but they're actually getting helped out from all sides. That's going to be Stalwart there with a huge off-lane alter ego.
Makes it all the harder when teams survive this long, and they will be taken out here on the push. Vampire shut down.
Oh, man. Center circle being so advantageous here. Stalwart holding it down, but look at this. This is 628 with the DBS. Getting the double knock on the Infinity IQ. Kaidula gonna have to make a play here from this tree. He has to watch his teammates go down, but you can see Falcon Esports in the back looking to clean this up.
Yeah, you got to take all these third-party opportunities whenever you can, but the problem with Sandhawk is sometimes you can even be fourth-partied, etc. With how many teams still alive, the terrain, the way it works on out here. Ferrari charging up that nade, going across the hill. He was hit as well by a nade. Punching King takes a bit of damage.
Sunan going and getting that secure. Very, very important for his team. He has 3 eliminations, so he is definitely starting things off for 628. Meanwhile, you got Falcons on the edge of the circle. Papa Blue coming in hot. This is stage number 5. Blue zone hurts real bad.
Yes, it does. You got to be careful about this. Ferrari lying down prone, actually sees Falcon's members in the distance here. Look at you can see the pixels on the head, but he's not going to take the shots just yet. Yang actually knocks him from the other side of things to get things going, and trying to go for Punching King straight away will get him. Tries to go for the flush, doesn't get the flush though, and but he was stolen, I think, from shots from Ketch.
Ketch, I mean, these players are picking up these steal elimination points like crazy. This team was on the thin side of the circle, so they had a little bit of time to be able to push in, but they're not going to be able to get a break at all. We're seeing teams drop like crazy. Meanwhile, Stalwart have the strongest position, and they are big chilling in the compound.
Look at that. Surprise, surprise. Oh, and the circle. I mean, honestly, Stalwart, they drop boot camp. They had the pick of the litter when it came to compounds, and they are not going to squander it here, as they're going to have a few teams trying to push up against them. And whilst we're watching this go down here, 628 is having a bit of a rough time.
Oh, yes, they are. They're going to be forced to try and push into this next zone. Meanwhile, Falcon Esports are right there next to him. TQ with a huge off angle. Going to go ahead and apply some pressure.
Coexisting.
Yeah, they are coexisting for just a little bit, but they're going to have to start pushing into this next circle. There's only 15 seconds left on the clock.
No way they didn't check that Fabian was there. That is actually quite dangerous.
Uh-oh.
You really need to cover these shacks because I don't really think he made that many noise cues either whilst the circle is going to be closing.
Steal.
Big spray from 6, able to hit it.
Taking up all those points he can get. Meanwhile, Stalwart refusing to give up this location, doing a great job of holding this down. That YOLO push. Oh, I thought we were going to see a little bit of shenanigans there from that nade.
This is actually quite dangerous for Stalwart because, of course, they were separated across this compound. This big push in by Tiamba could cause some problems, but they're holding well so far. They're also shooting at Gladiators from the opposite side. DBS coming in at hand here for Stalwart, trying to clear them out. They completely crush them. Stalwart doesn't even take a knock.
Bang! 4 eliminations for Stalwart, and the best position in this zone is definitely their game to win. Meanwhile, we're seeing a lot of action here on the edge of the zone. Falcon Esports down to 1 player, but they do have 7 eliminations. Alter Ego with 2.
Nice.
Meanwhile, having 7 as well, so that's going to definitely offset their finish here.
Man, Rosemary was just shooting everything, and he continues to do so. Kitsune in the distance will get absolutely obliterated from across the way, and that's quite the distance there across compounds. So Stalwart's in the circle again, but they're hearing these shots zing across them from side to side. They must be so content with this.
100%. They're looking for that chicken dinner, but you know, this is one of those dream zones that you get. You want to be able to get that chicken with a lot of eliminations, but these teams on the edge, like Alter Ego with 8 elims to the name right now, they are crushing it.
Honestly, at the same time, though, for Sandhawk, sometimes you're just content with getting the victory and a handful of elims here and there. It's the kind of game that you're like, well, thank God we didn't get caught on the edge of these zones with all of these other teams, right? As Ketch has actually pushed up for Fireflux, but I don't know if anybody's going to deal with Stalwart here.
Yeah, 6-8 was definitely one of those squads. Ooh. Meanwhile, Gladiators forced to push in the middle of that. Blow the Blazo. Papa Blue taking down McHugh is going to make things pretty difficult. Tixie misses those shots. That is going to hurt, and Stalwart makes him pay for it.
They're going to destroy everybody on every angle here. Stalwart keeps escaping at low health. They just keep falling back to cover. They're taking the angles they need to. They're not over-aggressing on this. If the circle goes their way once again, they couldn't be more blessed.
And Gladiators knew the situation. They stayed in the blue zone, and they denied the points to Stalwart. In that scenario, that is the best thing that you could do.
I'm so impressed by Stalwart's ability to hold both sides of the road on this compound. They've been so good about it. At the same time, though, this could cause problems. Fireflux and them have been able to push up against this, so maybe this divide and conquer tactic might work.
Well, Potato is up close. Top is completely separated. They can take the advantage here with a 2v1, but now it's turned into a 1v1.
Oh.
Potato is going to get a finish. That is 9 eliminations. Huge game here for Alter Ego.
Massive, massive here, especially as I say on a Sandhawk, where usually it's all very spread out. The elims flying in thick and fast. As Fireflux here, they've turned their attention towards Alter Ego, trying to shut them down just in case they can only scrap for a second place.
Solus going down. Fireflux going to have to jump out that back window if they want to get the res. Meanwhile, Potato hard chilling in the building. Oh, and he does go down. So Solus getting picked underneath the building. Meanwhile, Fireflux, here comes Papa Blues. This is stage 9. It's going to go down to nothing. What a shot from Lutz.
What a shot here. Fireflux really contending and trying to push on against this, though. They're on fire, trying to get out of this situation. It's not going to be easy. Potato actually able to shut them down. He's able to scrap second place from this here. And Star Wars should be able to get the first.
Potato is hungry. He's got the Uzi.
No
it's a
way.
1v1.
No way.
Potato.
No way.
Looking to steal the chicken dinner from Stalwart with the jump shot. DBS. It's going to be a Stalwart Esports chicken dinner. That was way too close.
That was too close for comfort for Stalwart. They thought they had that in the bag for so long in this game, and yes, they do. But Alter Ego, man, what a play from Potato to be able to get that as close as it was.
I mean, their whole entire team to even get Potato to that stage.
Yes.
Stalwart had to do nothing. All they had to do was sit back and shoot at anything that moved at them. Alter Ego, they had a very difficult rotation into that zone, and they made it all the way to the end. That was nuts.
That is relatively difficult, very, very difficult, I'm going to say, on Sanhok especially. To be playing the edge like that, to be down to 2, to be able to kind of eke out each situation as it comes their way. Very impressed by Alter Ego, but Stalwart, man, they held this down in Stalwart fashion. They held it down like a fortress. They eliminated threats in kind of that 2-2 split across the road again, which is very impressive. Oftentimes you have to get together on one side of the road to hold it down.
100%. Yeah, usually you have to go ahead and group up, focus on one team at a time, but they made that 2-2 split work for them. Absolute insanity here to start off our main stage tournament. It's exactly what I expected. Absolute insanity. Let's go ahead and take it on over to Jason Kaplan and the rest of the desk to see them break it down for us.
Well, break it down is something we definitely need to do here because that was a spicy way to start off the main tournament here at PMWI. Alter Ego, a fantastic push, as we saw by Potato. But Max, I mean, just throw it to Max. Just get him on camera. Get him a solo shot. He's happy.
I mean, a Stalwart win, finally. This is the best start I could expect from the main tournament, right? It's a good time.
We were wondering.
Not an easy compound to hold down because you're split, but they made up for the weaknesses in so many good ways here. And I really want to dive deep into it because it was such a good game to kick off the event.
It was, and I felt like they showed us what we've been wanting to see out of other teams, right? When they get it wasn't even blessed by the sun because they were able to rotate so well. But they just, the synergy was there. They were able to move alongside with each other. It was just so good. I can't wait to talk more about it.
I mean, to do plays the way they did and at the speed at which they did it, the communication needs to be a 10 out of 10. And in that game, it really was.
Same with Alter Ego. I mean, for them to be able to do that with just 2 players after being able to survive a lot of stuff too, being able to take on fights with other teams, it was impressive.
So do I hear some Alter Ego fanboys here on the desk?
Maybe.
Yeah.
No more Alpha 7, it's Alter Ego.
We'll get to Alpha 7.
Alter Ego 7?
Alter 7?
Ooh.
A7. It's still A7.
I think we're onto something, just like we're onto the Honor Magic 5 Pro, powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and Honor self-developed GPU Turbo X. Big shout out to them as all the players are playing on one of these awesome devices. And well, it helped Stalwart get the victory. Which, honestly, Max, I mean, we were watching it together, and he was just getting jittery. He was getting excited. He was like, they did such a good rotation, then they did this, and now there's a lot to talk about.
The whole game was really good.
There's a lot to talk about here, so I should take a look at the match rankings so we can dive into some of these teams in particular, because it's all about the points. And Alter Ego had a lot of eliminations behind that second place finish.
Yeah, actually, I thought at some point they somewhat saved Vampire Esport from Sora, from Reject, and I was like, okay, they kind of helped out the team. It's not going to be that easy to take away, but man, they're still scoring here. 10 eliminations on the game 7. Alter Ego coming in with a bang, which I would say aggressiveness is aggressivity, if you, well, that's my word, which both work. Was something that was lacking from this team back in the PMGC Grand Finals. But adding Rosemary and Potato more specifically is looking even more aggressive in these fights is exactly the change we expected.
I was just so impressed the way they were able to play that edge. It was so wonderful, especially when DRS tried to push on them. By the way, DRS tried to do a very, very wide rotation, and it backfired when they ran into Alter Ego. And looking at here, which
Vampire, man. 6 eliminations, and they went out in 11th place. Like, we're talking about the defending champions. They were actually in a fight. Let me take a look at my notes. Up against Reject, right?
And Twisted Minds, yeah.
And, funny enough, guess who saved them?
Alter Ego.
Guess who eliminated them? Alter Ego.
It was a very nadeable mini compound. So it was the moment you knew you were going to get pushed away because of the blue zone, you had that kind of like rush factor. You had to leave ASAP. You were not going to make it out. But yeah, Vampire, still a few eliminations. Sure, 0 placement, but that's the thing. Even a bad game for Vampire, it still results in a few points coming their way. So it's not going to allow them to fall too far behind on this first game.
I gotta give a shout out as well here to Falcons, like for them to get 7 eliminations in that first match. I know it's Sandhawk, but it's still a lot of limbs to put up. D+ as well getting 6. You had Vampires Assault get 6, and Firefox getting 5. Like we saw some teams picking up some pretty good eliminations. And again, considering the delays we had, which is very hard to keep your mental state to kind of stay focused, I think it's kind of impressive and shows the caliber of these teams.
And I think that's the main thing, right? The main thing that we've been hyping up about the main event. Every single team has that fragging power, and I think we're going to be we're especially going to be seeing it in Sandhawk, but I can't wait to see what's going to be happening there in Gale as well, because I think we're going to be able to see it even more, right? With the rotation, with being able to work with more space.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't get voted in, right? All of these teams qualified for a reason because they can back up their spot in the main tournament with great gameplay right here. Though we had some great moments, and I mean, the DBS is still the DBS. Nothing to say too much about that one, but once again, the way they just played around this compound, the synergy from them is so good. And the Zed, once again...
Your player to watch?
My player to watch, for a reason, up here, top damage and maybe top eliminations. They're all pretty close to one another. Oh, actually, Icy's up there. Okay, the other pickup.
But you can see the big impact that those 2 players, the ones that we're talking about, the new addition, I mean, Icy and Zed, 4 elims, being able to back it up too. And I mean... Top, you know
0 healing for Top.
He's really not moving from that one compound. I mean, they barely moved. They were from boot camp, went to the hilltop northeast of boot camp, then into that trifecta road compound. It's good movements.
I actually like the rotation out of them with North boot camp. They had that 2-2 split, and then they decided to move on together, which I really appreciate, especially here in Sandhawk, and especially with how compact everything was.
Not only that, also, the moment they moved to that hilltop, after they close up that 2-2 split, they send the Zerd into the trifecta of the road, and the moment they see Gladiators get close enough, they just instantly pull back. No, they don't want to take that fight head-to-head into the compound, which, luckily enough for them, the circle ends up going